everyone, it's Ashley and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be taking a cute Dollar Tree item, which are these adorable little boxes in super cute kind of pastel colors, and we're going to personalize them with monograms. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content, and let's get to it. Hi guys, so we're going to be building a monogram, and I wanted to show you a way that you could do the circular looking monograms using one of the free fonts from dafont.com. And this is a website that I tend to use if I'm looking for something very specific and I'm not finding it inside Cricut Design Space. So all I did was go to the website, I searched for the word monogram, and it brings up a whole bunch of different ones. If you're wanting to use these for commercial use, just make sure you take a look at all the disclaimers on the side here. This one is free for personal use. This one is a demo. I looked in the notes and it did say free for commercial use as well. Free for personal use, that type of thing. So always take a look at what the font says the usage is for licensing, just to keep yourself safe while you're working. But a lot of them are free for personal use, so you usually don't have to worry too much. Let's select the Monogramos by Woodcutter, and we're going to click download. And when you download it, it downloads it as a zip file, and what it does is it takes it to your download page, and then you can double click on the zip file, and then it brings up the font itself, usually in a folder such as this one, but this one is a single file. It's a .otf, so you would double click this, and then what it does is it brings up a screen for you to install the font. And it should show you the font inside all of the rest of your fonts. So we will close out of this and close out of that, and we're going to go into Cricut Design Space. When you install a font, make sure that you restart Cricut Design Space so that it picks up the new font. Now we're going to be building the monogram inside Cricut Design Space. So we're going to click on the word text, and we're going to make different ones with our initials here that we're going to work with. So I'm going to do this one. So there's my first initial, my middle initial, and I'm going to do my last name initial. I'm going to show you this using that font. Because this is a demo font, it doesn't give you these set up the same way as you normally would. So I'm going to go up here and we're going to search for the font name, remembering that it's called Monogramos. So I'm going to search for mono. Okay, there's Monogramos. And because this is a beta version, what it does is it doesn't give you everything ready to go. It shows you examples of what it would look like, but it doesn't give it to you straight away. So what it does is it takes this, and I'm going to make the font size for this 250 just for demonstration so we can see that on all of them. So I'm going up to the top here and just typing in 250 for font size. And then 250. So as you can see, it just gives me 3 of the same initial, so A, H, M. If you're doing a font that has a larger initial, when you're doing anything with a monogram, the monogram in the center that's larger is your last name. So we're going to make sure that we have it switched around so it's in order. So the A is going to be the left letter, the M is going to be the middle letter, and the H is going to be the outside letter. So it's going to be first, last, middle, just because it's sized differently. If you were doing a font that had all the letters is exactly the same size, you could do it in order, which would be first name, middle name, last name. But when it's a center section larger, it's always the middle name. So how do we work with these in this demo font and get the look that we want, where it has A, H, M rather than just A, or M, 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 H, H, H? And what we're going to do is click on the shapes, and we're going to select a square. And I'm going to color the square a different color so it's easier to see, it's more visible. Let's go with light blue. So we want to retain the A on this side. So what we're going to do is bring this one over, and we're going to take our square and move it to arrange, move backward, and we're going to send it to the back. So what we're trying to do is line this up so that way it only cuts off a section that we want to work with. So we're going to retain the outside border here for this middle letter with the middle letter there. And so we're just worried about slicing this where that letter begins, so that way it's an easy fit. So I'm just trying to make sure that that is even. Okay, so we're going to draw a box around it, and now you see both are selected. You go down to the bottom tools where it says slice. If you're doing the slicing on a tablet or a phone, you're going to see that option on the very bottom of the screen. I believe it's under the actions panel. You'll click slice, and what it does is it takes this apart, and it takes this piece and this piece and that piece. So now we have the first section of our letter ready to go. We can take this one and we can delete that, and we can delete that one as well because we don't need that anymore. So there's the first section. Now we're going to repeat the process with the center here. So we're going to create a shape with square, and I'm just going to color it again just to make it more visible and easier to see. And we want to retain the middle portion here with both of these bars just to make it easier. So we're going to have to slice the first section off and slice the second option off here. So we're just going to take this and line it up right there. We're going to draw a box around it, and then we're going to click slice, and we can remove that, remove that, remove that. We're just clicking on the little X in the corner, and then this can be removed. And we're going to do the same on this right side here. So we're going to draw another shape, taking the square. We're going to do the exact same thing with this one. We're going to take that and we're going to draw a box around it and hit slice. And now that part can go, that part can go, and that part can go. So now we have the center section, and we're going to do the same with the back, which is just draw another shape, another square. I'm just changing the color on this. And we want to leave this H here. So we don't need any of this piece here. So we can just literally line it up. And I need to make sure this square is backwards so that way we can see what's in front of it. There we go. So now it looks like it's lined up correctly. We can just take this, draw a box around it, hit slice, remove that, and remove that. And now, even if there's a little piece left over, we should be able to align it to get it to look right. So we're going to take our center section here, and we're going to start working on aligning it. So we're just going to line these pieces up so it looks as even as possible. And there we go. And then we'll do the same here. If there's a little overlap, as you can see, there's that little spot that I didn't get 100% perfect. We'll just make sure to drag this over so it overlaps just slightly. And there we go. And what we can do is draw a box around it now. We can click weld, and what that does is it moves all the pieces together and it cuts them as a single image. So any spots where they overlap won't be cut separately. Now it's all in one singular piece. And we can take this and we can resize it and adjust it exactly how we need. So I have this, and I'm going to cut this in gold for our design. So I'm just going to highlight it so it looks gold. And what we're going to do is measure our little boxes from Dollar Tree and figure out exactly what size we need. And then we're going to make sure that this will fit right on top of it. After measuring the box, it's approximately 2.25 inches, somewhere around there. And it is rounded, so I want to make sure that this is just going to be a little accent, something cute that highlights it and that mostly stays on the center portion of the lid. So I'm going to downsize this quite a bit so it fits there and it's not overtaking the whole space. So I'm thinking right about the 1.7 inch mark. And to duplicate this, you can click on it and you can go up to the top right of the screen and click duplicate, or you can also click duplicate by right clicking on it. If you're using the phone or a tablet, you'll find that option along the bottom of the screen. So let's just click duplicate. I have 3 different ones that I'm creating, and I'm going to send this to Make It. I'm using the Joy for this one because it is a smaller project. I thought the Joy would be perfect for this. And we're going to click Make It. What it does is ask, how do you load all your materials on for this project? I'm going to use without the mat because I'm using the Cricut Smart Vinyl in permanent. I'm going to click Done. And on the side it has all these different options, how you're loading it, the material size, and if you're mirroring it. You only have to worry about mirroring if you're using iron-on vinyl, which I'm not. So we're going to select Continue. And then we're going to select our material, which is the Smart Vinyl Permanent. And all we have to do is load the material in the machine. Our machine is blinking and ready to go. It's just letting us know it's ready to load. So we're going to open the door and make sure that our blade is loaded. If your blade isn't loaded, all you have to do is drop it in and close it. And then what you're going to do is take your measured out vinyl. It doesn't have to be perfectly measured as long as it's long enough to fit the size of the decal. And we're going to load this in between these 2 points here. And now we're going to tell the machine that it's ready to go by clicking Go on the software. Now it's ready to unload. You can tell because of the flashing button. We're going to click Unload. It'll unload the mat. Now we can close up our machine and work on the project. Now that we have our vinyl unloaded from the machine, we're going to cut away the excess vinyl and save it for another project. We're just going to take away the vinyl from the corner and just peel that away slowly, removing the extra vinyl and putting that away in a little trash can or on a lint roller. We can just roll this slightly so that it makes the edge easier to remove. And we're just removing the center portion here. Now let's talk about how we move our decals from here to here. So we're going to use the Cricut Transfer tape. The transfer tape is just a clear layer that has a sticky back adhesive on it, and you can take that and attach it to this to transfer it to this. You can reuse the piece over and over, so we only need to cut one piece that's big enough to fit for these, and then we'll just reuse this piece. So Cricut's transfer tape has 2 separate sections. There is a paper layer on the back, and there's a sticky layer on the front that has a grid line, and that grid line helps you to adhere things and have them centered correctly. So we're just going to take this and apply it to this. I'm going to show you how a little bit closer up. So to apply this, we're going to take it and we take our transfer tape and we just center it over our little decal, and we just lay it down in the center. And then we roll that outwards. This is where you're going to take your Cricut scraper to attach this so it adheres correctly. You can also use your hands, however, I feel like this scraper makes a really big difference. So we're going to start from the center and work our way out. So we're just going to push down, trying to make sure there's no extra air bubbles. Once your transfer tape is adhered, you can turn it upside down and you can just slowly roll it off the backing. Yep. And it's ready to go. So we're going to take our little box here and we're going to look at the front. This is the front here. This is the little clasp. And we're going to make sure that we center our design towards the front, so that way when you're looking at it to open it, you can see the design right there. So we're going to take this and look at it from the top down view and make sure that this is centered. I'm going to attach this by rolling it from one section to another. You can roll it starting in the middle outwards, or you can pick a section and just roll it down, whichever is the easiest for you. And we're just going to make sure this is centered along the top. And then I'm just going to drop this down and roll that way. I'm just using my fingers to get a preliminary adhesion there. And what we're going to do is break out our little mini scraper tool and start from the center and work our way outwards. We have to do this lightly, and just remember this is a curved surface, so it is a little bit harder to get it to not have bubbles or any creases. And then I'm just rotating it as I go. Sometimes helps to go in different directions just to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles. And when you're ready, you can take your transfer tape, pick a corner, and slowly peel back on your DIY here. And if you find that you have any creases or anything, you can go back in with your hands and press that down a little bit more and break out your tools and work on it a little bit more. And then there's our completed one. And I think it turns out so pretty. It's such a great accent for these pieces here. And you can really customize it and do a lot with it. So now let's take our transfer tape and do some more. So we're going to take our transfer tape again and complete the same process. We're just going to center this in the middle and roll that down. Taking our scraper tool, starting from the center to adhere it outwards. Just flipping it over and removing this at an angle slowly. Now this is ready to go. So we have our little box here, making sure we've centered it in the front, and we're just going to lay this on the top. So what did you guys think about the finished little project? I think they're so cute, and wouldn't this be such a great gift idea? If you haven't yet, check out the playlist above, and I have more ways to personalize Dollar Tree items, including monogramming a Dollar Tree rug, which would be really easy to do. And I just really love how these turned out. So if there's other projects that you guys would like to see, or anything that you would like to learn inside Cricut Design Space, leave a comment below so that way I can make sure to make new content that features what you're looking for. And I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.